Howdy. I'm J.W. Spencer and welcome to the live stream. This is a writing sprint. Excuse me. Got some stuff in my throat. If you've never done one of these things before, basically what it is, I have about a 10-minute intro. We do 20 minutes of writing. We do a break. 20 minutes of writing. We do another break. 20 minutes of writing. And then we conclude. So basically an hour of writing. You do not have to write what I'm writing about. This is just me showing up. I am writing. I have a goal, part of my New Year's resolution. I'm doing it. And, why live? Because it's real. I'm not hiding, behind an edited script thing. I'm writing. It's real. And I did I sent an email to Epidemic Sound to do like a soundtrack kind of thing. In the description, you'll find a link to a referral. If you like Epidemic Sound, you could sign up for 30 days free. Use it on your own YouTube channel. Kick it up a notch, as Emerald says. But there are also, for each writing session, 1, 2, and 3, I have 3 playlists. You don't have to listen to music. You can mute it if you don't like it. I'm taking off my headphones. I will put on my headphones while I listen to music. But I'm using Scrivener 3. And I'm using this time before I get into this writing situation to explain what I'm doing. Tonight, I'm writing characters. My last live writing session, I wrote plot. And I did sort of the 7 plot segments. The beginning, the end, the middle, and then you have like a, if you want to call it a pinch point, and then a twist, and then a pinch point, a twist after the midpoint. Well, I've kind of expanded that. I did some little bit more research this week and found K.M. Wieland, who has a pretty good ebook out about plot writing. I'm not a plotter. I'm not a planner by nature. But my last live stream convinced me that I need to try this. I need to, because I am a project manager and I do plan. But having a plan, I do believe in having a plan, having a sort of an idea of where we're going in a story. And I do believe that those plot points are actually stake posts of your circus tent. Everything that happens in your story has to happen under the stake plot, under that tent. So this is my attempt at doing that. This week I researched some different methods of doing this. As I said, K.M. Wieland has a pretty good book about it. So what I did is I went into Scrivener 3. I borrowed some ideas from her, from Abby. What's her chops? Give me Abby. Abby, you know who I am. Abby Emmons. There she is. Abby Emmons, who's, she has a pretty good YouTube channel on the subject. But, whether you're writing, creativity is what I'm after. Whether you're writing, whether you're creating music, or whether you're painting, the creative spirit. I think Leonardo da Vinci had it all. He was a genius. I'm not Leonardo da Vinci. I don't claim to be a Leonardo da Vinci, but I do claim to be interested in creativity, in consciousness, in imagination, and using the creative spirit to create what we want in life. And writing has always been a passion of mine. And I mean, even since I was a young kid, I was in one of those gifted English classes when I was in elementary school, put it that way. And I have always loved to write. I published poems when I was in college. I had like 5 or 6 poems published in Southwestern. They had a journal. And I'm not a poet. Okay, I've written poetry, but I don't consider myself a poet. I consider myself a creative writer. Most of my writing previously has been like on the edgy Edgar Allan Poe kind of stuff. Short stories about horror. I mean, I had a little short story about a hand that was cut off from somebody, and it was a story unto itself. But um, what I want to write about tonight is building better characters because of K.M. Wheelan. Tomorrow, I'm going to release a video. I think I'll make it tomorrow. Is a video about Scrivener 3 and about a template that I created, and I'll share that. If anybody's interested in that, I can share it. It's not that. I'm going to show it in my video. Feel free to take screenshots of my video and copy what you want. Scrivener 3, I love Scrivener as a writing tool, as a organizational tool for writing. But one of the things that, editors kind of demand is they sort of demand, put it bluntly, they demand an outline, a synopsis, if you will, an idea of what your story is going to be about. And they don't even want to read your story unless you can provide them an outline of what the story is. So start there. Start with a story. I mean, unless you're Stephen King or Michael Crichton, one of those guys, or, I don't know how Debbie McComber writes romance stories, but if you're a writer, you're either one of those camps. You're either a pantser, fly by the seat of your pants. I don't know what's in my story until I write it, or you're a planner. I don't know if Abby Emmons is one of those people who writes very, has to know everything that happens in her story before she writes it. But I think that I'm in one of the, I'm more of a semi-planner. I want to have a plan. But one of the things about planning is I really think that once you have, and I said it last time, you start at the end. When you start a story, you start with your plot, start with the ending of your plot, then start at the beginning, and then fill in the blanks, right? That's the way I approach it. You may approach it a different way. There is no right, wrong way. That's one way of doing it. One way that I think that you can fill in the blanks of those other plot points is start at the end, start at the beginning, start at the midpoint. The aha moment is the midpoint, and then fill in the blanks. But to build a better character, I think K.M. Wheelan has a really good suggestion, and that is interview your characters. And that's what I'm going to be writing tonight. Tonight, I am going to interview my protagonist, and I'm going to say the love interest. What I'm writing is a paranormal. It has sort of a ghost element to it, but it is a spiritual story that has 2 plot twists in it. But I'm interviewing my characters. And when I say I'm interviewing think about your first dates. Whenever you go on a first date with somebody, okay, I've been married for quite some time, but I still remember the times you go on a date. What do you do when you go on a date? You're interested in learning about this other person. What are their likes? What are their dislikes? What are their favorite color? What do they like to eat? All of those things. What was their most embarrassing moment? So that's what I'm going to be doing. I'm going to interview my characters, one character in particular, Contessa Angelica de Angelis. That's my character. I've already figured out her name. Scrivener 3 can also give you character name suggestions. I'll do that maybe in a second video, maybe 2 days from now. Tomorrow, I'm going to show you that, how the character interview is. So building a better character requires you to know your character, to interview your character. What do they like? What are their favorite things? What's the color of their hair? What are the color of their eyes? What are they afraid of? What do they like? What do they dislike? What kind of person are they? So that's what we're going to be doing tonight. I'm going to put on my earphones here, and we're going to get started. We're interviewing characters. I'm going to mute this, and we're going to listen to some music. Okay, so I'm about a third of the way through this interview. How do you build a better character, I guess, is the question. And I think you build a better character by interviewing your character, by getting to know your character intimately. What do they like? What do they dislike? What are their influences in life? What do people depend upon them for? I think that this modified interview of a character sketch that I'm using is really helpful for me. Build that character. Because I think when I write on my plot, using this and knowing my character will influence me as a writer on how that character will respond in conversation and what their expectations are on what their role is in the story. So I think it's really helpful. And, I don't know what you're doing in your writing project, but I hope that when you write and you develop your characters, that you would find it helpful to know your characters before you write about them. I think that's important. So I think, again, I guess to surmise, to reprise, I guess, if you will, another word, start with your plot. Start with the end of your plot, the conclusion, the resolution. What is the resolution? Go back to the beginning, then go to the midpoint, then fill in the pinch points and the plot twists. Those, a paragraph each. Fill in that and then write a synopsis. What is this story about? That's your theme, right? And then start on your character development. You know who your characters are. I have an idea. I already gave this lady a name, Contessa Angelica de Angelis. I know her name. I know what she does. I know what role she plays, but I think that filling out this interview and thinking, I mean, it's all imagination. And this gets back to some of my earlier videos of exercising your imagination, training your imagination. I have a video about training your imagination. And I start with an aircraft carrier, a finished aircraft carrier, and deconstruct it. That's how you train your imagination to think about your characters, to think about your characters in the same way that you do about an aircraft carrier. How do you build an aircraft carrier? Do you know? Well, if you think about a finished aircraft carrier and deconstruct it back, you wind up with nothing. That's where you're starting with a character. You have nothing. You think at the top end, the finished product, and deconstruct that character backwards. What makes them tick? What do they love? What do they hate? What influences them? How did they grow up? Where did they grow up? Do they have mom and dad? Are they, do they have any siblings? What's that like? Did they grow up in a large household with 8, 10, 12 sisters and brothers, or did they have just a single child? All of those questions, those interview questions that you would ask a first date, that's the interview that you have to give to your character. And you have to do that for every, the protagonist, the antagonist, the contagonist, the sidekick, all of those characters in your story, at least, those principals, characters, the roles that are in your story you have to interview. So I think that that's kind of important to know those characters so you can write about those characters and make them real. I mean, your whole story has to be believable. That's the way I'm approaching this. I want my story to be believable. I'm not writing a Patrick McManus short story comedy that's going to be published in Field and Stream. He's one of my favorite authors, by the way. He's sort of on a Mark Twain level. If you've not ever read Patrick McManus, I would suggest you read a Patrick McManus story. He's an outdoorsman. He writes about fishing and about his wife and about the struggles between he and his wife and his love of boats. I don't have a boat. I have computers. But, I'm not writing that. I'm writing a story about relationships. And I want to tell a story that's uplifting, about hope, about something to escape. I mean, think about what the time that we're living in. We're living in a really tumultuous time, a time where a lot of people are struggling with their emotional well-being, and they need something to grab onto to give them hope, to give them something that's real, not fear, not based on horror, not based on, I mean, all of the ugly, dark, vampires and stuff like that. Edgar Allan Poe, who I love, not those stories, but a Debbie McComber story, a story of hope, a grounded story, a story that means something of a human being relationship with other human beings. That's where I'm starting from. That's the theme, or that's my intent of writing this, of this whole project that I'm on. And as I'm delving into this story, I want to show up again. That's why I'm doing this live. I'm not hiding. I'm showing up. I'm here. I'm writing. The thing that my wife said was, "Who the heck would want to watch you write for an hour?" I get it. All right. I'm not here to invite you to watch me write for an hour. I'm here to invite you to write with me for an hour. I want you to create your own character, create your own space of your well-being, of your life. Create what is good. Look for the beauty where none is thought to exist. That's my whole deal in life. To find everything, to look for that which is good, which is thought not to exist. Speak to that. Speak to life. Philippians 4:8. I think if you're a Christian, that's my deal. So with that said, I'm just trying to help you have some faith. Have some faith in yourself as a writer. Because I know that if I can do this, you can do this. Writing is not hard. Taking the time to write, showing up to write, being consistent in writing, that's hard. And that's why I'm doing this, because I want to be consistent. I want to validate the fact that I'm writing up, that I'm showing up, that I'm writing. I hope that is a little bit answers that. And with that said, I got like 2 minutes here, but we can skip ahead. It's not that big of a deal to me. If nobody has a question, if you have a question, ask one. I got 2 minutes and 30 seconds or so. Ask a question. Otherwise, I might just go ahead and start the next part of my interview here. I want to use these breaks, and I've got a little bit more coffee left. It's cold brew Starbucks coffee. I have coffee that I need to make. Maybe I'll make that in my next break, and I'll just let go. And it's bulletproof original coffee is what I have. And in my refrigerator, I have Starbucks coffee, cold brew. And maybe I'll just make some coffee, some hot coffee. Right. With that said, I don't know. I guess some of the things that I have. Do they have any children? What's their relationship with God? Isn't that something that you ask somebody on the first date? I mean, that's one of the questions I still have yet to ask or to answer. The interview to this person. And that requires you to put yourself in your character's shoes and to answer that. If somebody asks your character, what is your relationship with God? How would your character respond to that? That's an interesting question. Are they an atheist? Do they believe in God? I think that's that's worthy of an answer. All right. Here we go. Back on the headphones. We're back at it.
Life goes up and it goes down. I know my mom taught me that. I figured why we fool around so little, and we keep track of time, being so serious. Idiots thinking it will matter, keep me company downtown before the clock runs out. Sun is shining, but the rain is welcome too. Friends are nearby, don't need another view. Time is not on my mind, but then it's you. Oh, I love it when the love comes around, and then I remember all things must pass. But I'm not gonna wake up, wake up. I'm not ready, let me have another day. Don't wake up, wake up. Keep it steady, cause I'm happy, I'm not gonna wake up. No, no, not yet, whoa. No, not yet, whoa. No, no, not yet, whoa. I'm afraid I'll end up nowhere. They keep saying I'll be fine, but how you know that I'll be there when it feels like I'm lying every time someone asks how it goes, and I save the details that actually mean something. Sun is shining, but the rain is welcome too. Friends are nearby, don't need another view. Time is not on my mind, but then it's you. Oh, I love it when the love comes around, and then I remember all things must pass. But I'm not gonna wake up, wake up. I'm not ready, let me have another day. Don't wake up, wake up. Keep it steady, cause I'm happy, I'm not gonna wake up. No, no, not yet, whoa. No, not yet, whoa. No, no, not yet, whoa. But I'm not gonna wake up, wake up. Don't wake up, wake up. Keep it steady, cause I'm happy, I'm not gonna wake up, wake up. I'm not ready, let me have another day. Don't wake up, wake up. Keep it steady, cause I'm happy, I'm not gonna wake up. No, no, not yet, whoa. No, not yet, whoa. No, no, not yet, whoa. I'm not gonna wake up.
Hey. Okay, so now I'm about halfway done with this character interview with Contessa Angelica de Angelis. Um, she is the love interest in my story. So I'm just going to put it out there like that. I'm still struggling with some of the things, the questions. The one that I just came across that I'm having to question is, how does this person identify? If they could identify themselves, how would they identify themselves? And I know who she is. I know what she does. I know the family she comes from. I can answer all of that. But how does she identify herself? And that's how you build a character, is you have to explore those things, I think. You have to explore those things that are hard. Because when you write about this person and you write about their conversation and how they respond to the dialogue within the story about the story arc, those things may become important. Now, anyhow, tomorrow I'm going to be sharing this. Maybe I'll make this this template for Scrivener 3 available to you online. If you want to use this, I think it's really helpful. It's free. I'm not going to charge you $5 like Abby. I think Abby Emmons charged $5 for her. No, you're a writer. You can't afford this. $5 is $5, right? Am I right? You spent $50 for Scrivener 3. Hell. I mean, hell. K.M. Whining. She shared this for free. I modified it. And you should modify it too. I'm going to say for your own use. Therefore, I'm going to provide it to you for free tomorrow. I'm going to explain what it is. I'm going to show it on the screen, what it is, meaning the default character sketch. And you should modify it to your own needs, but I think it's really good as a starting point. I added some things into it as well, beyond what Cam Weiling did, because I think that it's important that we know our characters, and when we develop our characters, we make them a full person. Somebody has personality, somebody that we'd like to know. You're going to spend a great deal amount of time with this person. I mean, you think about that for a second. Did J.K. Rowling, when she built the character of Voldemort, did she think of him as someone that she would like to spend time with? Harry Potter, yeah. Professor Dumbledore, yeah. I'd like to spend time with Professor Dumbledore, scratch his mind and say, hey, what the hell? You know, McGonagall, Professor McGonagall, you know. Yeah, I'd like to spend time with her and scratch her mind. Even Professor Snape. But Voldemort? Or was he just an antagonist extraordinaire? This, though, I think Contessa Angelica de Angelis is someone who I would like to know. And that's why I'm building this character, because I'd like to know this person. I'm interviewing this person in my mind. I'm using my imagination. I think that's why you need to exercise your imagination. That's why you need to train your imagination. That's why you need to read. If you do not have time to read, you do not have time to write. That comes from Stephen King, by the way. And I think that's a very appropriate thing to say. But when you think of your character, you have to think of them. Put yourself into their shoes. It's almost as if you're becoming an actor. So, hola. So, yeah, you have to put yourself into their shoes and answer those questions as though you were answering for them, as their personality. There are some other questions. So if you would like to see that character sketch, that interview with a character. I will share that tomorrow. I'm going to make a short, like 5-10 minute thing of importing the template. I'm going to share the template on my website, I guess. I'm just going to make a link in tomorrow's video, and you can download it from tomorrow's video. And if you like it, feel free to use it. And I would say modify it to your heart's content. I would say you should modify it to what your needs are. But interviewing your characters, I think, and having a really overall picture of who your character is very important. Anyhow, I'm out of coffee. I have 4 minutes left. So if you need to go to the bathroom, go to the bathroom. I'm going to go fill up my coffee. So I'm going to put my coffee down right here. I'm going to go fill up my coffee. As I told you, I'm not sponsored by Starbucks, but I am drinking Starbucks cold brew coffee tonight. I could be drinking water. I admit it. I don't know what VOY FYI stands for your information, but VOV means what? Juarez Kent. Thank you very much. VOV FYI for your information. VOY. Don't know what it means. Okay. Appreciate it. VOY. Okay. And I think I'm going to add some creamer to that. We got about 2 minutes and 30 seconds before our final writing session. And I'm going to do that real quick. I'm going to put some creamer in my coffee. Okay. So, we got about a minute left before our final session. I still don't know what VOY means, or VOY. Voy. Dude, don't use acronyms without, I don't know what that means. VOY. FYI, I get it. For your information. VOY. I'm still trying to figure it out. Dude. All right. 30 seconds. We're going into number 3 here. Session number 3 for sprint number 3 for another 20 minutes. And I put some Irish cream in here. Yeah. Figure that out, Juarez. What's Irish cream?
What's your story? What's your sign? It's like we're twin flames in a different life. Deep connection lights a spark. It's like you know me in the depths of my heart. We're dreamers. Don't care what other people say. We're living like this could be our final day. We're dreamers. Don't care what the others say. We're doing this in our way. We come alive in the nighttime. It's something about how we dance in the moonlight. That look in your eyes, it tells me that you want me and all my loving. We come alive in the nighttime. You and I, we come alive. We come alive. We come alive. What's your weakness? What's your type? Somehow I wanna know all about you. Deep connection lights a spark. You already know me when we dance in the dark. We're dreamers. We're living. We're dreamers. We're doing this in our way. We come alive in the nighttime. It's something about how we dance in the moonlight. That look in your eyes, it tells me that you want me and all my loving. We come alive in the nighttime. You and I, we come alive. Oh, we come alive. We come alive. We come alive. Tell me that you want me. I can see you want me by the look in your eyes. Tell me that you want me. I can see you want me by the look in your eyes. We come alive. We come alive. We come alive in the nighttime. It's something about how we dance in the moonlight. That look in your eyes, it tells me that you want me and all my loving. We come alive in the nighttime. You and I, we come alive. Oh, we come alive. We come alive. We come alive.
Okay, I actually timed that out. I still have like 3 questions left on this interview with my character. And I think that is it's okay. I have a few more characters to think about. Here, let me get into that. All right. Protagonist, antagonist, contagonist, sidekick. You know, name them off. There's like 7 or 8 of them. They will be in that template that I'm going to share tomorrow. But tonight's exercise, like I said, I really don't expect you to write what I'm writing about in these writing sprints. This is me showing up. And now I have a preliminary sketch of Contessa Angelica de Angelis. That's her name. I'm putting some accent before it, but she's an Italian Contessa, a model. That's who she is. That's my character. That is the woman who is going to play a central role in my story. And I have described her in my... I haven't talked about my plot, but I can talk about this character as someone who died early in her life, way too early. She is a model. As an Italian, she comes from an Italian aristocratic family. She died alone of an accident. And her greatest need in life was to have love and a family. She wanted a family. And she was denied that in life. And that works into my story that I am working towards. If you want to think of a movie, think of... There's only like 7 stories in the world, really, if you want to be honest about it. There's 7 stories told different ways. I think if you can figure the stories different ways. But think of a movie, The Ghost and Mrs. Muir. That's one that I think of. Anyhow, that is my exercise for the night. The writing sprint is done. So with that, I would like to thank you for joining me tonight. Tonight is me showing up, writing a character sketch, building a better character for Contessa Angelica de Angelis. Maybe is that a little bit too much? Her nickname is Tess. All right. All right. Anyhow, that's how you do it. You spend time writing. And I think that I'm not a planner. I'm not a plotter per se, but I think I am becoming one. I think that it is beneficial to do this as an exercise of becoming a better writer. So with that, I'd like to bid you a good night until tomorrow. I will share this template with you. I still don't know what VOY means or V0Y means. Aura's Kent. I'm sorry, dude. Don't know. But until mañana, hasta luego, and we'll see you later.